Hello, I'm Sara Santosh and welcome to Southall TV News Roundup. In international news, China's central bank cut its key lending rate to 4.6% in a bid to calm the stock markets after the past few days' turmoil. Investors' confidence have been shattered over the dramatic losses seen in China, which has led to a sharp fall on the stock market in Asia and the US. The cut in interest rates was the fifth one made by the People's Bank of China since last November, with an aim at boosting the long-term growth of China's economy. In other news, about 50 people have been found dead in the hold of a boat carrying migrants off the coast of Libya, an Italian Coast Guard said. Rescue operations have been taking place this week, which have seen thousands of people being helped to safety. However, at the same time, thousands have also died trying to reach European shores. It was not immediately clear how the migrants died. It is believed that smugglers based in Libya are taking advantage of calmer seas to send more boatloads of migrants towards Europe. In national news, net migration to the UK has hit a record high of 330,000 in the last year, according to the Office for National Statistics. The figure is based upon people coming to the UK versus people leaving the UK and is more than 3 times higher than the government's target. Figures also show that 8.3 million people were born abroad, 13% of the UK population, and this is the first time that the number has passed 8 million. UKIP leader Nigel Farage said that the figures reflect borderless Britain and total incompetence of the British government. In other national news, Britain's Sara Proctor has won the silver medal in the long jump in the World Athletics Championships in Beijing, China. Proctor jumped a massive 7.07 metres in the third round, resulting in her smashing her own national record and becoming the first Briton to jump over 7 metres. This achievement has taken Britain's tally of medals to 4. Tiffany Proctor, another Great Britain hopeful, was on target to win a medal in the 100 metres hurdles when she stumbled off the final hurdle and fell, resulting in 5th place finish. Dina Ashley Smith qualified as the fastest runner in the 200 metre final. However, she was beaten by shippers who ran an impressive 21.63 seconds past Elaine Thompson from Jamaica in the last 5 metres. In local news, shoppers in Ealing are the first in West London to benefit from a new idea brought over from San Francisco to create mini parks on the High Street. Launched on Tuesday the 18th of August, visitors to Bond Street in central Ealing can now sit and relax in West London's first parklet, a temporary park created on the street within a parking bay. The parklet is designed to create an inviting and relaxing space on the street and to encourage people to stop and enjoy some of the shops and eateries on Bond Street, which is otherwise a busy thoroughfare. Ealing Council's Assistant Director of Strategic Transport, Nick O'Donnell, said, "Parklets are a great way of providing a small oasis in a busy area to allow shoppers, pedestrians and cyclists to take a seat and relax." From today, we will be adding a new weekly segment of political analysis by our correspondent Imran Khan. So let's have a look at what Imran has to say about the politics this week.
Hello, my name's Imran Khan and welcome to my weekly political update. A momentous moment in the history of the Labour movement. Ballot papers have gone out and voting has commenced in the Labour Party leadership election. Labour suffered a calamitous defeat in the 2015 general election. They lost all but one seat to the Nationalists north of the border and lost seats to the Conservatives south of the border and even lost votes to UKIP. Obviously, Ed Miliband was painted a very unpopular leader, and he was unpopular leading up to the election. Also, it seems the policies he was espousing didn't seem to meet the needs of the middle class and didn't aspire to their affluent nature. So, Labour has been soul-searching ever since, and hence here we are with the Labour Party leadership election. So, who are the runners and riders, and more importantly for me, who's not running and riding? Well, the 4 runners are Andy Burnham, the former Health Secretary, Yvette Cooper, the former Secretary to the Treasury, also known as Mrs Balls, Liz Kendall, dubbed the Blairite candidate, and of course Jeremy Corbyn. Now, more importantly, before we talk about them four, who didn't run? Well, three big candidates, I feel, who would have won the election didn't even stand. Well, not quite. Dan Jarvis decided that it was too early for him and his family. Member of the Parachute Regiment, Dan was hotly tipped to win this year's election, but he decided not to stand. Another clear favourite was Chuka Umunna, the MP for Streatham. Chuka did stand and was hotly tipped to win. However, after 2 weeks, he decided to pull out, saying that the media attention was too much. Come on, Chuka, you're standing for Labour Party leadership. You're standing to be a potential Prime Minister. You know there's going to be media attention. Come on, Chuka, get real. And also, the third candidate, the big cheese, the head honcho, as I call him, the Prime Minister in waiting, David Miliband. David is sulking currently in New York after losing the leadership to his brother Ed 5 years ago. David is not an MP and therefore couldn't stand. But hold this thought. David could be back soon. Let's talk about that later. So, as we talk about what's happened to the Labour Party leadership, what's actually happened? Has Andy Burnham swept the board? No, Jeremy Corbyn, according to all the polls and the pundits, is way ahead. How did this happen? Jeremy only stood because a couple of backbench MPs decided to widen the debate. They thought, all these candidates look the same. Let's get a maverick left-wing MP who has no chance of winning this election and get him to stand just to get a bit of sanity into the debate and a bit of a left-wing slant on it. So Jeremy said, yeah, okay, I know I'm going to win, but I'll stand and get the conversation going. So, Jeremy's ahead. How has this happened? Well, Jeremy stood on an anti-austerity campaign. His platform has basically been, I'm this different from the Tories, whereas the other candidates are the same. And the other candidates have been dubbed Tory light. So Jeremy's put clear water between himself, the other candidates, and the Conservative Party, and the policy of austerity. But what does Jeremy stand for? Is he that radical? Is he something different? Well, let's look at a couple of his policies. He says he wants to nationalise key industries. Nothing new in that. It's been going for over 100 years and only really successfully implemented by the 45 Labour government of Clement Attlee. Attlee nationalised rail, coal, steel, all the public utilities and created the National Health Service, probably our greatest government ever. It worked successfully then, but would it work now? Where's the money to nationalise all these companies? If he wants to nationalise rail and post office, there's an argument for, how's he going to pay for it? And what sort of central management structure would succeed in the current market? Over to you, Jeremy, to explain. Also, he wants to print more money. Nothing radical and new about that. It's been talked about for years and years. In fact, Gordon Brown did it for the last 2 years, and George Osborne's been doing it for the last 5. But they've been printing money just to refinance the banks. It's not really helped us, the consumer, because liquidity hasn't reached the levels it has pre-2008. So, what would you do with printing money, Jeremy? You need to tell us. Also, he wants to spend. The old adage, spend, spend, spend. Well, there's nothing radical and new in that. Every government has tried it, and every government has come unstuck. So, what's going to happen? Well, if the polls are right and Jeremy Corbyn wins, can he become Prime Minister? In my view, no chance. The public will never elect Jeremy Corbyn. There will be such a media witch hunt, calling him a lefty, a red, absolute extremist, a Trotskyite. You know the score. And there's no chance of him being elected. Labour would suffer their biggest electoral defeat since Michael Foot in 1983. So what's going to happen? Are Labour just going to sit there and lose under Jeremy Corbyn? This is my take on it. 2 years down the line, Corbyn's leader. They're third in the opinion polls, behind the Tories, behind, say, UKIP. People like Alistair Campbell and Peter Mandelson will think, we can't have this. The backbenchers will be chattering and murmuring. They'll look towards New York, where the big cheese is. They'll say, David, come back, save your party, save your country, become the next leader and the next Prime Minister. David Miliband will come back, stand as MP in a safe Labour seat, win, challenge Jeremy Corbyn for leadership, win that as well, stand at the 2020 election and become the next Prime Minister. Well, that's my take on it anyway. Who knows what will happen over the next 2 weeks. Well, the Labour Party are voting now. Results will be out within the next 2 to 3 weeks. and we'll see who the next leader is. Until then, have a good week.
That's it for now. I'm Sara Santosh. Thank you for watching Southall TV News Roundup. I shall be back next week with more news.